Hey everyone, welcome back to CP Whiskey Creek in NScale. In this video, I'm going to hopefully be unboxing the National Steel Car 5431 3-bay hopper. So hopefully, in theory, that's what's inside here. At least that's what I think I ordered. So I've already removed my address because you don't need to know where I live. But these were announced back in 2018, the actual like prototypical one. By National Steel Car, and that's when companies like CN announced that they were going to order a whole bunch of these. These are supposed to be like some type of revolutionary, cutting edge, higher capacity to replace the old cylindrical hoppers, the 4550s, the nice ones that have all the cool schemes and like the Saskatchewan and the Canada and all the really cool schemes that everyone likes. Well, these are intended to replace those because these have a higher rolling capacity, or sorry, like cubic weight capacity. So, but I find that they're kind of boring. So they're basically all this like standard battleship gray with the whoever's logo on it, like CN or CP, but that's the grain train of today. PWRS. If you're not familiar with them, they are technically a Canadian company. And I'll explain that in a second. They're out west in Canada, and they have like sort of a side company of NARC, I think it's called, National North American Railcar. I think it is North American Railcars, that sounds right. And so they produce a bunch of like a lot of Canadian stuff, but they produce cars through that. So they announced that they were going to release these in N-scale, which for an N-scale, that's kind of fun. I throw in the caveat that technically they're a Canadian company because I have a lot of gripes about their website. I'm going to rant a little bit. I hope you can bear with me. But anyways, for starters, their website pricing is all in US dollars. Even though I'm Canadian, they're Canadian, I'm shopping from Canada, but their website lists everything in US dollars. Don't really understand that. Their website also reminds me of something that I would have designed using like, I don't know, Microsoft Front Page back in 2000. It's a very archaic design, and like some of the most basic features that every e-commerce website has today, that you can like reset your password online. You can't do that through that. You have to call them, and I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of like a outgoing introvert, I guess you can maybe go with that title. So I don't really want to call people. So luckily I was able to hack my way back into my account because they announced that they were taking they're receiving these. Oh, no peeking. They're receiving these. Actually, I better double check the paper. These had come in, but they also came in with bizarre way of doing paper. Anyways, these came in with some Royal Canadian Air Force hoppers that they had done, like a commemorative, I think it was the 100th anniversary. So all those showed up all at the same time. So they're trying to work through orders. I get it. Takes some time to sift everything through, and so they finally got everything sorted out. So these are kind of cool. I actually almost forgot about these, but these are not what this is about. But I had ordered these. These are the Jacksonville terminal Amazon Prime, which is ironic because I'm filming this video in prime time. Get it? But yeah, like it's Prime days right now as we speak. So that's kind of cool. And these were in my goodie box, which I'll explain that in a sec. So these showed up too. Bonus. I paid for them a while ago, so that's fine. So anyways, yeah, these all came in, the shipment, the RCAF shipment. They're working through it. I get it. A bunch of other guys actually started receiving theirs. I kind of got a little antsy, like, hey, what's going on with mine? So like I said, I hacked my way back into my account. Once I got inside there, then I confirmed, hey, I got my stuff on order, and then I waited. And I waited and waited, and I was looking for something else on my credit card statement. And I was looking online, and I noticed I had a charge for what I assumed was the car. I forget the amount, but so there was a, I think it was like $50 or something like that. There's a charge on my credit card. I haven't received any email. Keep this in mind. There's been no email, no communication from them whatsoever. So I go back into my PWRS account, and now my car here has moved from the, I forget the section, but like on order, the special order, whatever, and now it's moved over to the goodie box where it's sitting there with this. The goodie box is kind of a cool feature. I will give them that you can like order a couple things. They throw it into like a little, I guess, basket or virtual basket or however it is. So I paid for these a little while ago, and they sat in my goodie box with the idea that once this came in, then I would ship them all together. And that's the idea, is that you can save on shipping. So you don't buy one thing and then they ship it. They'll hold on to a couple things. You combine them all together and then save on shipping. I'll give them that. That's a cool idea. But no email from them to say, hey, this thing's come in. No email to say, hey, we're charging your credit card, just as an FYI. But it went in my goodie box. Cool. Waited for a little while. Nothing. So I go back in, and I had to manually push a button to say, hey, ship my goodie box. Okay. So now my goodie box is in limbo waiting to be shipped. So a couple days later, still no email, but I go back into my credit card because, I like to keep tabs on my money. And now there's a new charge. $15, something like that. $15 or yeah, somewhere around there for shipping, I'm assuming. So I go back into the website and confirm, yeah, now everything, my cart and my containers here have moved over to the shipping portal. And I think at that point they had created a tracking number with Canada Post, and it was just sitting there. Still no email. Now, I'm not asking much, but I would think that at some point you would, again, your website should be sending out like, hey, customer requests, we're charging your credit card. Congratulations, your thing came in. We're going to be shipping something. And then when it shipped, again, there was no notification. I had to manually go in and check the tracking number and see, okay, well, it's making its way from Western Canada. I think it's out in like BC. They're in Surrey, BC. So yeah, it's making its way through various Canada Post portals, and it's on its way to you. So it shows up here. No thanks to Canada Post. And they didn't do anything, but and still to this day, I receive their spam emails to say like, hey, buy more of our stuff. But I didn't get any indication from them to say, hey, dum-dum, we're sending you your car that you ordered. So I don't know. Maybe I'm asking too much. Maybe I have too high of expectations, but I would think in this day and age, it's 2025, it's maybe time to update the website, shipping portal, whatever. So let's move on from the griping, shall we? Ranting, curmudgeon, whatever. So here's our plastic jewel case and a little bit of information about our little car here, built in Hamilton, Ontario, just down the road, give or take. And lots of information on all the sides and everything about our North American Railcar Corporation. See, I was pretty good on that. So yeah, won't we open her up? So the one that I ordered, if you can't tell by now, has the big red CP on it. I didn't really care about the road number. I don't even remember if I actually specified which road number I wanted or how that even went down. But yeah, I got this one because I think it stands out a little bit more. There's two CP ones that you can get. Obviously the CN one, it's just with the standard CN wet noodle scheme. CP has like the red CP, but I think the other one is like a black, but they're like beaver logo. But I think this one sort of stands out a little bit more, so I went with this one. And I mean, we're dealing with our standard sort of plastic jewel case that will, once this goes on the layout, will disappear into a tote with all my other jewel cases, never to be seen again. Move that off to the side, and then very well packaged, right? So we're in some pretty good plastic packaging to protect it during all the much shipping that has to go on. And then also, I've come to appreciate the little plastic sleeves because sometimes little nibs or knobs get knocked off. So at least this little plastic also protects the paint and then sometimes helps keep things contained, which I'm not seeing any disheveled pieces at this moment in time. So you can definitely tell, I mean, right at the top there, let me see if I can zoom in here. So definitely some photo etch at the top for your walkways. The roof hatches look spectacular. I don't want to get my greasy hands all over it. The details even on the bottom with the hatches down here are very nice. Body mounted couplers. These kind of look like microtrain couplers, which definitely can't complain about that. Lots of detail with like the reservoir and stuff for, I think that's for the brakes and stuff on the inside there. All the ladders look nicely detailed here. Overall, a very nice car. But what we really need to do is see if we can get out on the layout. Let me see if, I don't know if I can. So you may not even be able to read. I can't necessarily read it well, but and that might just be my glasses. But I mean, there's lots of very tiny print on the for all the detailing. So they're really very detail oriented. So I mean, I will give them that this is a very nice car. I don't want to pull at this too much. These hatches look interesting. Yeah, I guess maybe that's the way they look. So these, I mean, these are technically the grain cars of the future, I guess. That's what you want to call them. I've even actually seen, I haven't seen any CP ones show up, but around me is the CN main line. So every once in a while I have actually seen these showing up at the grain elevator in Hagersville. So they are already popping up on the lines. But very nice. So yes, let's get this guy out onto the layout and have a look at it out there. Okay, if you can't tell, we are out on the layout now. And what I also took out is the Saskatchewan car, which is also a PWRS NARC production of theirs. And this is of one of those cylindrical hoppers with the cool schemes and cool paint color. And that's what we're moving away from. So these are, if they're not already off the lines, they're starting to make their way and be retired. So out with these guys, and that's what's coming in to replace them. But this is, I guess you can say, a side-by-side comparison of the two that is produced by them. So, of course, one of the first things I want to check is if we, see if we can zoom in here. Our coupler height seems pretty good, at least, you know, with PWRS to PWRS, and we have a good couple there. We ran into that one time before with another car that sometimes there's issues with coupling, so if they don't couple up, they're not as effective. So at least we have that. All right, next up, we'll give it a little flick down the straightaway here, and it's a pretty decent roll to it. I mean, no issues rolling around here. Pretty good run. One thing that we, well, I guess me, almost forgot to do was actually check the weight. So we will place it on here, line it up on the edge, and we're looking at in and around 1.1, 1.2 ounces. So we'll move that guy right there, and we'll bring the scale over and let it zero off. Okay. And let's place it on there. 1.2 ounces. So I would say, oh, I think my battery's dying on it too. But I would say that we're pretty well bang on for weight for this size car, right? So we're looking at the length of this car should be in and around 1.1, 1.2. So bang on for weight based on the NMRA recommended weights for N-scale cars. Now I've taken my my new hopper out for a spin. I'm actually, this is probably, unless you follow me on Instagram or Facebook, this is probably the first time you're seeing this locomotive. So this guy is actually, it's a Kato unit, SD40-2. DCC already installed on it. No sound, which, I mean, that's okay because sometimes the sound can get a little much. So it's kind of nice to just let trains run around and not have to worry about not overwhelming sensory and constant sound and chatter and stuff like that. So, so yeah, I got this unit. It's actually going to, my original plan is to turn it into something else, but I kind of like it the way it is too. So we'll see. I don't know. I got it with a plan in mind, and who knows if that's going to actually happen. And then we have our little CP unit here, our grain hopper. And then I decided to send out the prime cars too. So they're out for a little spin. The only thing I found is a lot of the new containers are coming out as 53 footers. So I only have 48 foot intermodal cars. So they can't be on really their own sort of car on their own. And I haven't picked up a 53 foot well car, intermodal car, whatever you want to call it. I haven't picked up any of those yet. So I need to find some of those. They're not as easy to find because when they do end up in stock, then they get sold out quick. So I do need to get a few of those because I've gotten a few. I think the new Canadian Tire run and Canadian Pacific run, all those are all 53 footers too. So the only way I can run them is in this sort of setup with the 40 footer underneath and then the 53s on top. Now the hopper gets to drive by its future home. Well, there you have it. There's the new 5431 National Steel Car 3-bay hopper, as made by PWRS out of Surrey, BC. And as part of their North American Rail Corporation line of cars. So I don't think anyone else is making these, which, I mean, they're kind of a Canadian only car, in which, I mean, that's, again, to give credit to where it's due, that seems to be what PWRS tries to focus on. So overall, it's a nice car and runs well and stays coupled up even with, you know, a mismatch of other couplers that it's connected to, and nicely detailed. And I'm sure if you can get past some of the quirks about their ordering process, and I think I've commented on videos in the past of my thoughts on it. You know, obviously, you know, they're not worried about what my thoughts are on how they run their business, right? So to each their own. And so if you can get past that whole process and you're able to order for yourself, then I would recommend them. I don't know if they are available in HO, but they might be. But they are. If you're an nscaler, 100% you probably need these, like, especially if you're modern day. There's nothing more modern day than these guys. They're out on the rails right now, so go on out and grab yourself 1, 2, get 50 of them. I don't know, that's up to you. So anyways, thanks for watching, and have a great day.